you want to talk Love Island with me, hit me up individually. I got thoughts. I also have thoughts on King Summer League, and James, I'm hoping you do as well. So let's start with Devin Carter. And TC, I see you on the Oak Grove Kia talk line. We'll get to you for sure. 916-909-1320, 916-909-1320. If you'd like to join the conversation, we would love to hear from you. Phone lines are open. Let's start with Devin Carter's debut. Summer League debut, 2 of 14, 8 points. Kind of a disaster.
Yeah.
Comes out Saturday, goes 10 of 13 from the floor, scores 30. A little more swagger to his game, looks a little more interested because he looked very disinterested in the Summer League opener. His 30-point outing the other night just still didn't move me on how I feel about Devin Carter. Because I don't think Devin Carter is bad at basketball. I don't think Devin Carter can credibly do the things the Kings need him to do to find him minutes. And going for 30 in Summer League doesn't do anything for me in terms of, like, yeah, he made more shots. I expected that. I don't feel like I'm watching Devin Carter and going, wow, that is a future point guard.
Well, I think that's the problem, that if you want him to be a point guard, you're wrong. He's not a point guard. And I don't care what he says behind the scenes, because I know, like, when he's interviewed, yeah, I played point guard my first couple of years at Providence, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, you don't play the position like a point guard, and you just don't. You are straight up a combo guard, and realistically, you're more like an undersized 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the fact that he has a 6'8" wingspan at 6'2", that helps. The fact that he's a great rebounder, that helps. The fact that he posted a 42-inch vert at the combine, that helps, right? All of these things help the fact that he's an undersized 2.
He's an NBA player.
Yeah, I think so. But I also, Kyle, there's this weird thing that's happened here over the last week, and that is that the rumor of him getting traded for in a Kuminga deal, all of a sudden fans are looking at Devin Carter as like a gateway to Kuminga. And so they're all amped up because they want Carter to succeed, so the Golden State Warriors will turn around and go, oh, okay, we'll take him. We'll take that deal. And I think it's really put an unfair amount of emphasis on who Devin Carter is in this situation. Like, you want him to develop as a point guard. Can he bring the ball up the court? Yeah, he can bring the ball up the court and hand it off to somebody, but he's just not a creator for others. And Mason Jones, Nick Clifford, Maxime Reynaud, they are creating for others.
Yep.
He's really not.
Yep.
In fact, he doesn't want to create for others. He just wants to shoot. And you can understand that. But it's almost like he's got a little more Cam Thomas in him.
He wishes.
Than he does. Well, yeah. Cam Thomas is
I know what you're saying, but that style of play.
Yeah, it's that style of play, like the head down, not looking around. Karis LeVert. Yeah, Karis LeVert gets assists. He gets assists on accident. Because he dribbled the air out of the ball and he's got nowhere to go and somebody has to shoot it.
Yeah.
And he passes to somebody and they hit a shot and he gets an assist. That's what it feels like with Devin. And the process of bringing him along, again, one of the problems is when you draft older prospects, they are who they are. When you get him, he played 4 years of college. He's 23, going on 24, whatever he is. He's a mature player. That's just not his game.
Yeah.
Where, again, Nick Clifford is a little bit older, but he stuck around for an extra year of college and said, oh, I'm going to learn how to draw contact. I'm going to learn how to get to the free throw line. I'm going to learn how to create off the dribble. I'm going to learn how to create for myself and for others. And all of a sudden, all of his numbers jump up because he was doing that at a level where you can do that. You going out at the NBA level and thinking that you're going to send a guy to the G League for 10 games and he's going to come back a point guard. That's just not the way it works.
Yeah.
And he has to be willing. He has to be 100% willing to be that player.
Yeah.
That's not who Devin Carter is yet. It might be in 2 years, but right now, that's not who he is.
I think there's a pretty significant difference between, and this is where I think because I'm going to say this. I'm just going to say this once a show. Almost everything here exists in a gray area. It is not Devin Carter is a point guard or Devin Carter stinks. That's not the conversation.
Exactly.
There is a huge gray area between those two things. And I think this is where saying he's not a point guard doesn't mean that he is incapable of creating for others. He can. We've seen him drive and pass. We've seen him bring the ball up the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are typically point guard things, but there's a difference between, he worked on creating a little bit versus he worked on being a point guard.
Yeah.
Like a credible, bring the ball up, get the offense where it needs to be, get the offense orchestrated and move the ball. Ball gets to you, you're moving it because you're the centerpiece of the offense. That's just not going to be him. And that's not a knock. That's the thing is that's not insulting Devin Carter.
No.
It is understanding the type of player he is.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at him, you go, okay, let's just go from scratch. We're building a team. You're watching Devin Carter. You go, okay, that's a 2 with like good defensive upside, good upside as a rebounder, and he can create a little bit is how you're going to define that.
Yes.
But then you drop him onto a team with Malik Monk, with Zach LaVine, with Keon Ellis, and you start going, like there's not really, with DeMar DeRozan, you're going, there's not really like a big role for him.
Yeah.
Like where do the Devin Carter minutes come from if this is who he is as a player? And it is. And that's, I think, the question. I think that's what people are butting up against. And that's not a Devin Carter is bad. That is a Devin Carter is not going to see minutes ahead of Malik Monk as long as he's on the team. He's not going to see minutes ahead of DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine or Keon Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the question now for me is like, okay, he's here. I don't know where he's playing a ton of minutes this year if everybody's healthy.
Well, that, and I'm going to add the extra layer. The extra layer is that as of right now, the Kings have Dennis Schroeder and they have Malik Monk at the back as their 2 point guards, right? Rarely does a team go into a season with only 2 point guards. They always want a third. People remember last season, it was Jordan McLaughlin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Kings don't really, like, they have to decide if they're going to bring in a third point guard or not right now. Like, realistically, what they would love to have done was to move Malik Monk in a trade that would have yielded a forward and then backfill that position with Russell Westbrook.
Sure.
And then you have 2 guys who are going to play a ton of minutes. But here's the problem that Devin Carter is running into right now. Number 1, he doesn't look like a point guard at all. And number 2, the Kings have 2 point guards right now. And those 2 guys, what if one of them gets hurt? You don't feel the confidence that you can just run Devin Carter out there as your backup point guard, as your third string point guard, or as your backup in an emergency situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where he's going to lose even whatever foothold he has for potential minutes. He's already the 5th guard. But if you have to bring in a 6th guard to play that backup point guard position, that is devastating for his potential to ever get on the court.
Yeah.
So at this point, is it Keon Ellis? Is he going to be that third point guard? Is it, are you going to trust a guy like Zach LaVine and say, okay, now you're the third point guard? Like, that's where you're at if he can't do it at all. And so far, even like Nick Clifford, I've got more confidence in Nick Clifford right now.
I was just going to say that.
Like bringing the ball up and getting initiated into the offense and start to move the offense than I do Devin Carter. And like, look, for a guy who barely played last year, he put up a 17.9% usage rate. That's not who you're going to be allowed to be, and that's, we run into, he's not the only one that we see this issue with.
Totally.
It's the same thing with Jonathan Kuminga in Golden State.
1,000%.
Like, he wants a whole bunch of usage rate percent, and that's not who you're going to allowed to be allowed to be at the NBA level.
Yep.
So unless you reinvent yourself or find yourself in a position where they don't have any of these other players that make sense in a rotation, then you're going to have time getting minutes. And again, I think a lot of Kings fans are so amped up about the potential of getting Jonathan Kuminga that they are waiting for Devin Carter to show up and average 30 a game in Summer League, and for the Golden State Warriors to go, oh my gosh, look how good he is. That's not how it works either.
Yeah. Because
nobody values Summer League all that much. What you're valuing in the Summer League is whether a player looks like he belongs or looks like he does not belong. And so far, Neat Clifford checked in. He belongs.
Yep.
Maxime Reynaud, he belongs.
Yeah.
Isaiah Crawford looks like he belongs in my book. I'm watching Mason Jones. Okay. You
Yeah.
see how all these other players get it. And then you're waiting for, again, for Devin Carter, the light bulb to go on. And it's not about the 30 points. It's not about the shooting numbers.
Nope.
It's about looking like the light bulb is on and then you're checking in Summer League.
I am not moved by Devin Carter scoring points in Summer League.
Yeah.
I know he can do that. My question is not, can Devin Carter put the ball in the hoop against guys who may or may not be NBA players? We saw him go down to the G League a couple of times and tear it up. And I'm good. 2 thumbs up on Devin Carter being able to put the ball in the hoop. Can you do all the other things that the Kings currently require from that position? And so far, through 2 Summer League games, he hasn't. It's good that he went for 30. You'd rather that than going for 8 on 2 of 14.
Yep.
1,000%.
Yeah.
But
it's like somebody has to define success for him, and then he needs to go seek that success.
Yes.
And that is such a complicated thing. Like, hey, I need you to be this guy. Can you go show me that you can be that guy? Because, again, Mason Jones should be out there trying to score 25 and earning an NBA contract. He's out there finding Devin Carter because he's hot, finding Nate Clifford because he's hot. He's moving the ball to the right guy and making the right decisions and showing you that, hey, look, I have the potential to be something more. And to me, that's a good sign for him. And when it comes to Devin, you're still waiting for that moment where, like, hey, man, you're not going to be a star at the NBA level.
Yep. I steal this line from Austin Rivers all the time because he says it all the time, and I'm going to believe him. Learn your role, change your life.
Yep.
Embrace that role, man. Real quick, before we get to the Elk Grove Kia talk line with TC, who wants to talk about Devin Carter? You want to take a stab at what Jonathan Kuminga's usage rate was in 1,100 minutes last year?
24.5.
Oh, you got to go up, buddy.
Oh, no.
Steph Curry led the team, and this is Braxton Key was second, but he played 11 minutes. So of guys who played more than 1,000 minutes, Steph Curry, 29.8. Jonathan Kuminga, 27.4.
That's a really, really, I mean,
it's outrageous.